Gotcha. Yo, 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 what it do, what it do. Today, it's your boy Yellow the Poet, and I got Miss Denise G. Lee. Please let the audience know what you got going on.
So I'm so glad that we're here and we're just getting it started. And like we talked about before, there's no need for me to get into my titles and accreditations and all this other stuff. We're just going to talk about love and life and dumb stuff that we did and they did and how we going to figure all this out. That's the whole game. And that's where we're going to go with this conversation. Because I know the people who are listening here, Gen Xers, millennials, urban cities, folk of color. Ain't
Yes.
nobody got time to, let's just cut through all that stuff and let's get to the brass tacks here.
Understood, understood. So, so what are some of your main goals for getting people to learn the information that you have for them?
Well, first and foremost, I want you all to understand that I'm going to make people feel upset. That's just guaranteed. And that's just guaranteed. That's just what's going to happen. But I'm also going to talk about things that you may not have considered about yourself and the other person that made you upset to begin with. So if anything, I would love people to understand that if we're going to have better relationships, better communication, more love, it's going to start from a place of humility, honesty, and willingness to grow. Because if that's not part of that, if you're like, I just want to talk about how I can make them suffer, then please just hit the stop button on this recording and mosey on over to whatever Red Top Table Live, or wherever you want to go. Go to the Breakfast Club, go somewhere else. This is not that conversation. Just want to let you guys know. So that's my aim, Yoli. I hope I made that one clear.
I love the straightforwardness, but I tell you, my audience is diverse, and believe it or not, some of the people that I know that I've interviewed, they can take it. They can take the raw, because I like everything to be raw and real. It's no shortcuts, no sugarcoating, just straightforward and really, really just being honest. I mean, because that's what it is. Integrity is key. It's number one. It's everything.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's funny, like yesterday, just yesterday, I don't know why it was on my mind, but I put up a post on X, Twitter, whatever they want to call themselves this week. And I said, hey, look, ladies, this is a special message for ladies. Stop nagging your man. Stop complaining. Stop getting up in arms and threatening the silent treatment. Well, that make you feel good, right? Is actually creating the opposite of what you intend. And to make matters worse, is ruining your health. And would you believe the only people who responded to that post were men?
Yes, I would believe that. Yes, I would.
I'm a woman telling you this. And all the men in the room broke out in applause.
Well, it's one thing to hear it from other males, but it's a whole nother thing to hear it from a female, or even a female's perspective. We don't hear that a lot. We really don't. We hear more male bashing than anything. And I can't say that over the years that a lot of them, because I can't say everyone, because that would be a lie, but I can't say that a lot of them haven't proven themselves to deserve that. So in reality, we really just have to be 100, irregardless, all the way across the board. We got good men, we got good women, we got bad men, we got bad women. It's the fact.
So here's the thing. There's a concept called the daddy bill. There's also the mommy bill too, but I want to talk about the daddy bill. Okay. This is where a woman received abuse or neglect or mistreatment at the hands of a father or father figure. Okay. And because she was either unable, unwilling, father was inaccessible for whatever reason, because she never dealt with those issues, she put all the blame, the shame, the anger, the wrath on any man within his proximity. I mean, with her proximity, pardon me, within her. And instead of saying, my dad hurt me, my dad messed with me, instead of just owning that, we just generalize and say all people of the opposite gender are
Hmm.
evil. And I see it everywhere. I see it with women who choose to be uber professionals, become spinsters. I've seen it with women who have a man, but then she's always blaming, shaming, and controlling him. I see in so many areas. And when I always sit and I talk with these ladies and I say, what's happening? Talk to me about your dad. There's a lot of anger.
Yes, and you're not the only one. I've seen that a whole lot. I've heard a whole bunch of different stories. And one of my biggest questions is, are you blaming him or are you blaming all males for what he did? That's one of my biggest questions.
Well, there's a lot of things going on, right? Because this one hand, right, is in psychology we call it projection, okay, where
Mm,
I can't handle all the load, the heaviness inside of me, so I'm
mm.
going to give it. It's kind of like Erica Badu's Bag Lady.
Yes. Yeah.
For those who know that song, like I just need to just
Yes.
unload everything. I'm back this truck up on this that your life. So that's
Yeah.
one thing, right? If a
Hmm.
woman has never been able to practice healthy communication with a man, where she's able to say her wants and the needs in appropriate ways, then
Right.
she gets a negative reaction. I knew men were not good. Then she doubles down harder.
Mm.
I hate that. And then she says something snippy. And then the man was like, I don't need to deal with this mess. I'm gonna let you who's my I'm not a man, but I know like I don't you guys are quick to become invisible when the situation quick. Oh, there's a game. Oh, I gotta go do this. Oh, snap, this broke down. Like,
And that is true. That is very true. But I mean, it's a means to escape a situation that we don't want to see or hear about even escalating. So I mean, and I can speak from a male's perspective. That's the thing that they look to do. They look to avoid the confrontation, avoid the arguments, avoid the blame, especially for things that they don't feel like they're the blame for. You know, a lot of times, like even in my past marriage, my ex-wife, a lot of things that her father didn't do or wasn't present for, I tend to take the bulk of the blame for that. A lot of things that the ex-boyfriend did, I'm not a man because I didn't do what he did. You know, and he was extremely abusive towards her, and I refused to put my hands on her that way. So I'm not a man because I didn't beat her, I didn't abuse her, I didn't rape her, I didn't, molest her daughter. I didn't do any of these things. So I'm not considered a man because I didn't do the stereotypical things that she experienced in her life. And I just I just told her for years, I tried for 17 years, I tried. But
mm,
then I was just like, I had to let her know that it's time for me to go because I can't keep trying to help somebody that doesn't want to help themselves. I can't do it. I can't continue to be in a relationship that you're not willing to see things differently and understand the intent. Like if I tell you that I love you, that means I truly do love you. I'm not trying to get anything out of you. I'm not trying to persuade you into something else. I'm not trying to interject what you have going on. I'm just giving you the honest to goodness, real, raw truth. But they
I,
don't look at it that way.
I wouldn't say they. I would say women who have unhealed emotional wounds don't get that. Because think
Mhm,
about it, there's a lot of things at play, right? They're
mhm,
listening to women, other ladies that can relate to them, and so they get
mhm.
in. It's a feedback loop of
Yeah, yeah,
more negativity.
yes.
That's one, right? They
Mhm,
listening to Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Tony Braxton. No men. I don't need no man. He show him to the door. So they're listening on loop.
Let's not leave
They're
our
reading
parents
content. They're can all day, every day, and then they're hearing these stories that reinforce their negative bias towards men. Then they're reflecting back to all the unhealed wounds. So, it's a miracle you even lasted
paid.
7 minutes. Forget 17 years. When you have
Yeah.
all of that weighing against you, I mean, like
Hmm.
I couldn't climb Mount Everest of those many issues without the proper tools or the understanding of what was really happening. And she probably didn't even really know what was happening, because when you have experienced a traumatic experience, there's a term called dissociation, where basically you are blocking out everything and everyone that comes close to the real pain.
Hmm.
So she might not even know what's happening at the time.
Right. Right. And it started out like that, where there was a lot of dismissing and disassociation with the real relationship. There was a lot of that. Then it started turning into cheating. She
Mm.
became this habitual cheater. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm I'm sorry, but I'm just not the one for you. I just can't do that.
So we know now through science
It was time for
that,
me to get up out of that.
yeah, yeah. So I'm sorry if I cut you off. There was a little delay, but I was just saying that we now know through science that women, oh, I shouldn't say women, all of us can get addicted to stress hormones. So we've all heard of adrenaline, right? Like adrenaline rush, right?
Yeah,
But there's other hormones
definitely.
like norepinephrine, cortisol, and you can literally get high off of that by creating drama and
Mhm,
stress. So there's also a
mhm,
chemical component to wanting the drama and the chaos. Like wanting to
mhm.
get a shot of crack cocaine,
Yes,
like that
indeed.
hit, that high, you can get a high off of anger.
I believe that too. I believe that. Definitely believe that. And that's sad. That's sad. It really is that you would even want that, because in situations like, different types of relationships, you get your good, you get your bad, you get the ugly, you get, your in betweens. But the question that runs through my head a lot of times with some of the people that I do relationship coaching with is,
Mhm.
how do you deal with the different instances in your life, the different relationships, the different um, barriers of communication? Because a lot of people like to say that men and women communicate differently. And I'm not against that. But what I am against is at least taking the time out to try or make an attempt to understand what the other person is talking about.
Okay. So there's a part of our brain called the corpus callosum. It's like the bridge between our logical, linear
Hmm.
thinking and our emotional feeling side, right? Women
Hmm.
on balance have a larger callosum. That's why we can easily mix our thoughts and the feelings. You ask us, when do I need to take out the trash? Honey, I'm so upset. You always have to ask me. Like, wait, I just asked you for information and you're telling me your feelings. Like, that's an example of
Yeah.
ping ponging back and forth quickly, right? So
Yes.
there is structural differences in the way women and men communicate, like on a neurobiological level. That being said, right, for a woman
Hmm.
who was raised as a man, where she's only logical, linear, just very aggressive personality, she is going to
Hmm.
communicate in a way that will feel outright disrespectful for a man. Because a man,
Hmm.
tell me if I'm wrong, a man gives his love to get respect. Okay. Tell me if I'm wrong. I love you. I
Hmm.
care for you. So you respect me. But if you can't respect me by having some politeness, kind of shit, you won't respect. All right. How am I supposed to love you? How am I supposed to care for you? How am I supposed to understand you? So is a
Mhm.
retraining
And
of,
I don't
yeah, go ahead.
oh, no, go ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So it's the issue
I'm
of,
just gonna
it's
say
the issue. Oh,
I don't disagree with you.
okay, okay. So it's the issue of, do you even know, woman, how to love a man? And then man,
1 second,
do
I'm
you want
sorry.
respect or
Copy.
love? Because for a lot of people, they really want to be respected, but they behave in a way they want love. And then the women who say they want love, they act in a way they really just want respect. And that's where the communication breaks down. Hello? 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 Hello?
All right, sorry about that. I just had to change location so I could get a better signal. Sorry about that.
Okay. Do we want to start over, or what do you want to do?
Oh no, it was still recording. It just paused. Sorry about that.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted me to repeat anything. That's why I just wanted to make
Oh,
sure.
I literally heard everything that you were saying. I just didn't understand why it was so choppy, but I see that
Okay.
signal was bad.
Okay.
Much better now.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, I can always, I mean, I can repeat love versus respect. I don't
Well,
mind doing that.
when you said that part about a man loves a woman to give respect, I
Hmm.
totally don't disagree with you on that.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would say in addition
Yeah.
to that is
Hmm.
for real men, we're not
Hmm.
just looking for the respect from the woman. We're also looking for her to reciprocate that love and give that love in return.
Mm. You know, it's funny you said that because I was talking about it, love and respect in a roundabout way with my husband this morning. He
Mhm.
said to me, I make sure I protect, I provide, I show affection for you. But if I didn't do that, would you really feel the need to give in kind, sensually and sexually? And I thought for a second, I'm like, nah, not really. Like, not really. And it was a an agreement
Mhm.
that we came to
Wow.
without even we didn't verbalize it, but it came out. Because for a masculine man,
Wow.
let's just be real, you know, being respected and getting the nanny on a regular basis is part of the package. Looking like you care about your figure and your appearance and respecting what comes out his mouth and actually following through what you guys agree to. That's all part of the package. And for a lot of women
Wow.
who grew up in dysfunctional situations, that was never modeled.
Mhm. And that's understandable. That's understandable. So, what would you see as a solution for that?
See, I told you I was going to make people upset. So we're getting to the part where I'm getting folk upset. Well, first of all, if you don't think anything what I said what we talking about is true, then none of it, my solutions will help. Okay. So I'm assuming,
Mhm.
big assumption, you actually are down for what I say. So when you're saying solutions, Louis, are you talking about with a man or a woman? Because like I have solutions for both. They're a little different.
And see, that's what I'm one of those people. I like to get it from both sides. I don't want to come off biased, seem biased because I'm not that type of person. I'm not a biased person. So I like to know both sides, and that gives me clear cut understanding and perspective as to what I would actually be dealing with.
Okay. All right. So my advice for ladies, this is my ladies
Hmm.
specifically, don't try to change a man. If a man's about his boys, his job, his mama, or whoever, don't try to change a man. Accept him or reject him. Those are your options.
Hmm.
Stop trying to change his his viewpoints about his who he is as a man. Because for the way to destroy a relationship quick, lightning fast, is to undermine his core values as a man. That being said, have standards for yourself, ladies, about what you need in order to feel loved. Do you need a man that wants to call you 10 times a day and he loves doing that for whatever reason? Do you need a man who loves showering you with flowers randomly? Do you love a man who's affectionate in certain ways? I don't know. You need to know what that looks like. Because
Hmm.
stop expecting a man to man like mind read you. It's not going to happen.
Yes.
Like he is ABC. You like AZTUP elemental P. Like you need to understand that most masculine men are very logical and linear in their thinking. And so if you're coming out with all this stuff that he doesn't even understand, he needs a hieroglyphic to figure out, discern, that's not
Hmm.
going to fly. So if you choose to accept him as he is, you need to understand, first and foremost, how to respect a man. And I know this sounds so weird in 2024. I don't need to respect a man. You need to respect me. Sweetheart, that doesn't work that way.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. If you show a man that you listen to him, if you show a man that you care about his opinion on certain things, I'm not saying like at the expense of your needs and wants, like that's not what I'm talking about. That's not
Right.
because I don't want people like messaging in the comments. She said that I don't care. He doesn't care about my like. I didn't
No.
say any of that mess. If you show a man care through respecting him, he will shower you with love and affection. He will drop off, girl. Let's just go out to the park. Let's just do. I don't care. Let me get you that ice. Let me ice you up. Whatever. A man will naturally want to do that.
Yes. Yes.
You like, yeah, I know, I will. So
It's
if you want to do this, so that's for my women, that's for my ladies, and
true.
please deal with your daddy issues. Please stop consuming content about all men are terrible. Please get up under other men who model what a loving, kind man looks like.
Mhm.
That's from that's for my ladies. That's for my ladies. I got other stuff, but that's just my overview. But for my men, here's my question for you, men. Men, are there issues that you never dealt with your mommy about? Did you have a mommy that was very scared and fearful and angry and judgmental and getting up in your business all the time, even when you told her that you had it handled? Are you
Mm,
resentful about stuff that your mama did to you when you were young?
that's a lot. That's a
That's a
lot.
lot. That's a lot. Because you may be inadvertently causing stress on your woman based on things that you never dealt with your mommy about.
Hmm. Or whoever your guardian was, your female guardian was. Yeah.
Whoever she was, whatever went down, heal those wounds. Do not look to your woman for the emotional support that you need from your God of your understanding, from your brothers, from other men figures. Don't look to a man. Sorry, don't look to a woman for advice on how to be a man.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because I see that a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, tell me how to do this. Tell me how to do this. Tell me how to wipe my butt. No,
No, exactly.
no.
Yeah.
And you need to be clear as a man to your woman. Hey, honey, this is what I can do. This is what I can't do. This
Mm-hmm.
is what I need in terms of feel respect as a man. Are
Mm-hmm.
you with this? Make it clear to your woman what you need as a man. Don't
Mm-hmm.
make her guess, and make her make the choice of whether or not she's down for it or not.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. And this is amazing. I truly love all the things that you're saying, and it encompasses the things that I talk about in relationship coaching. But it does encompass some things that I talked about when I talk to them about getting into relationships. So one of the things that I talk about is put all your cards on the table. Let somebody know who you are in the beginning so that they can make a proper decision
Yup.
as to whether they want to deal with you or not. And I say for both sides, not just for the male, but also for the female. And when you lay those cards out, don't immediately take all the things that you like and say, okay, I can deal with this, I can deal with that. And then say, hey, well, let's start a relationship. No, before you start a relationship, let's start a let me let's build into a relationship, because I think that that's important, is to build into the relationship. Don't start claiming each other. Don't start doing any of these things that you would normally do to get yourself into a relationship and then find it hard for you to get out of it. I think that, not I think that, but it's important to know that we should start off saying, let's be friends, let's get to know one another, let's start to hang out with one another to see if I want to know how you act around your parents. I want to know how you act around your friends. I want to know how you act in an open setting, whether we're out in a restaurant, going to a movie. I want to know how you act when you're angry. I want to hear some of the conversations, the comments, and the um, um, constructive criticism that people give to you and how you react to that. Give me time to know who I'm getting into a relationship with before I get into an actual relationship. Once we see whatever time it takes, if you give yourself a month, you give yourself 2 months, whatever time it takes, once we see what we needed to see and learn what we need to learn about one another, let's sit down and let's have a talk about the do's and the don'ts, what we like, what we didn't like, and how we can actually work together if that's feasible. If it's not feasible, don't do it.
You're really like, that's solid advice. That's solid advice. And as you were talking about it, I was thinking about when Steve Harvey came out with his book, Act Like a Lady and Think Like a Man. And I've been, that's like, oh, that's on my bookshelf. That's probably on a lot of women's bookshelves. And in that book, I probably know what I'm talking about too. He talking about that 90-day probation period and said, look, nobody gives out the benefits without putting some time on the job, right?
Right.
Why are you giving out the cookie without having someone put in the time on the job? And I'm just saying, if that happens in the work world,
Mm-hmm.
they know, why are you giving out stuff, goodies, and
Exactly.
they invest
Mm-hmm.
nothing in your situation. And I love how you talked about making sure you investigate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not investigating his maneuvers. You're not
Exactly.
investigating her back bend. You're
Exactly.
because like for a man, y'all can just quit and leave it. I mean, let's just be honest. But a woman, when a woman, okay, I'm just gonna be very blunt with you guys right now. Okay.
Please do. Please do.
When a woman is penetrated by a man, orally, vaginally, or anally, she secretes oxytocin and other hormones that can get her hooked to a man up to 2 years.
Hmm.
So a man can just jack and go. Woman's clinging hard. And we know this neurobiologically that that's why it was designed by nature. That think about it. It takes up to that 2, 3 years. It's literally the same time frame a baby is weaned fully from a
Hmm.
woman she was breastfeeding. So
Yeah.
it's built in our DNA for a woman. The moment she makes herself vulnerable and receives a man in that way sexually, she's
Yep.
hooked.
Yep. Yep. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you said that because that was one of the things that I remember learning directly from a female. I learned that directly from a female, and it was a female that I was actually getting into a relationship with, and we were learning more about each other first before that happened. And she brought that topic up, and she explained it pretty much the same way that you explained it. She was just a little more derogatory with it, but it's fine. It's fine. I reciprocated that message and I never forgot it ever since then. And it was something that I also taught my sons, because I don't want my sons to grow up in this world acting like the typical male figure. And I say male figure because historically, we as men and women, we didn't receive those titles to be called a man or a woman until we proved ourselves to be that. So that's why you'll hear me say a lot about males. I'll say females, but I won't say men or women. It's at least not as often. And notice when one of the topics that you brought up, I said, well, real men would do this. So it's it to me, I have to put the titles and the labels and put the perspectives exactly where it belongs instead of just throwing out some things and everybody generalizing what this is or what that is. And it's not fair to people as a whole, whether you're a male figure or a man, whether you're a female figure or a woman. It doesn't matter. It's not fair to people as a whole to generalize every single topic as everybody is this or everybody is that. It's not fair. So I do explain that when I'm doing my relationship coaching because I feel like that's important for you to understand exactly who I'm talking about and who I'm talking to. And I will tell them in a heartbeat. I tell the brothers, I tell the females, and they'll ask me, like, so do you think that I'm a man yet? Do you think that I'm a woman yet? I say, until you understand the truth about men and women and what a real man is and what a real woman is, no, I do not see you as such. I see you as a female, I see you as a male, but until you get the rest of these faculties intact, I would not see you as anything other than that. And I won't address you disrespectfully. It's just that it means that you're in a state of being where you need to grow some more. Simple as that.
And that's so hard, because like everybody wants to be like, I'm a grown ass man, I'm a grown ass woman.
Yep.
Don't you tell me nothing. And what I think about when people say that, I literally think as a stubborn, resistant child.
Yes.
Because I'm like thinking to myself, I came here for help. I'm here talking to you. Like, let me get up this notepad and write some. When she talk, like, I'm serious
Exactly.
because
I agree.
I need help. Clearly, that's why I'm here.
Mm. Yep. The key word HELP. And some
So I
of
hope we didn't offend people too much. I hope
hope we
so.
I hope we did because like I said before, I'm real and I'm raw. I don't like it no other way. It's got to be straightforward. It's got to be to the point. And if people don't like it, then don't listen. It's just that simple. I'm sorry, but I'm me, and I've always been me, and I always will be me. And
Baby, I love the way you're acting. So that's okay. That's all right. I understand. I mean, because there's some people who were, everyone's at a different stage of growth.
hmm yes, yes, that is so true. That is so true. And I even give people an example. Me and my wife, we've been together for 30 years, and it's been a true blessing. And we learn from one another, rather than to take things and take them out of proportion or do things crazy. I'd rather ask a question and tell me what you think about this, because this is the first time my wife has ever gotten mad at me. She got mad at me about something, and this was like in the beginning. This is in the very beginning, but it was a total misunderstanding after she understood. Then she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know." And I was like, "You wouldn't have known because you were in a irate state of being at the time, and I was trying to talk to you, but you weren't ready to listen. So I had to wait until you were ready to listen for me to tell you." So this is what happened. She got mad at me, and because of something that she heard, and when she was in front of me, when she finally decided to be in front of me and talk to me, she was yelling, she was screaming, and she was just so angry. And I was just standing there and I would listen to her. I didn't interrupt her, I didn't say anything, I just waited. And when she finally stopped talking, she asked me, she said, "Why are you looking at me like that?" I said, "Well, first thing I want to ask you is, what was your trigger?" And she looked just like you did just now. She was looking like, and then she was shocked because she was like, out of all the stuff that I just said, you are asking me what was my trigger. I said, yeah, I want to know what was your trigger, because whatever it was that triggered you, in the interest of fairness and in the interest of growth, I don't want to have that trigger happen again. So
Mm.
I need to understand what is going on if we intend to be together and build together. And she looked at me and she paused for a long time. I mean, literally, probably about 5 or 6 minutes. She paused in awe, like, I can't believe you asked me that. And then she finally came out and said, I can't believe you asked me that. She said, most men, because she generalized, most men would have started an argument with me or try to start a fight or anything, but you literally asked me what was my trigger. I said, yeah, and I'm still waiting for the answer. I really want to know, what was your trigger.
Y'all kissed and made up and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome. You're really hitting on something I think people who are listening, watching, consuming this information should understand, that we can learn how to communicate better.
Hmm.
It's not solid, fixed. We have to just replicate what we saw from home or from our friends or whatnot.
Yes.
And we could be curious. There's a lot of curiosity.
Hmm.
And you decided to give her that space. Because for
Hmm.
some people, and I say people, because I'm being mindful of my language too, they, if anything else, they just want to feel heard.
Hmm.
And that can be healing within itself.
Yes. Yes, indeed. I totally agree. And so, with that particular type of situation, had that happened to you, what would your response have been? How would you reacted to that?
Well, it depends on where I was mentally,
Right.
right? Because the Denise of today and the Denise in her 20s and 30s,
And we were
I would have.
20s. That's we were in our 20s.
I remember, I remember there was a moment, my husband and I, we were in China, and I don't know what we were doing. He said to me, I don't care what happens. I paid good money for this trip. If you
Hmm.
have a problem with me, you talk to me about this now. I don't have time to ruin my time and my money to you go in silent treatment, you avoiding this stuff. Make it clear. Make your declaration clear right now. And that put me on notice. I was like, oh, he means business here. And I think a lot of people who have been around other people who
Hmm.
aren't clear about their wants and their needs, because they're
Hmm.
two different things,
Yes, definitely.
aren't used to that transparency. So my question back is, how open are you to transparent communication? Because it's a two-way street now.
I'm always, and it took me a long time to actually learn about transparent communication because one of the things that I've always admired about it is the opportunity to see both perspectives, both points of views, and get an understanding from both parties. Because I even had to explain to my wife too about one of the things that a lot of females do, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of females will say, um, well, you should have already known this. You should have known this. You've been in a relationship before. You should have already known this. And I had to explain to her, for one, you're not the same females in the past, and I didn't bring that baggage with me. So I can't open up a book and look at the things that happened in that past relationship and say, hey, okay, well, she's doing the same thing that this female did. So let me reference that real quick. No, I don't do that. That's not me. That's not what a real man does. I'm not bringing extra baggage from my past into my current relationship. Do you understand the real term of start over new? Start over new means all that other stuff that happened, you don't get the blame for it because I'm with you now. I'm not with that person in the past. I start over. I remember certain bad things and certain things that happen, but I'm not taking that as a experience to say, let me put that off on you. I take that as experience to learn from and for me not to do the same thing with them or to understand your intent if you did the same thing because your intentions may not be the same as hers.
It kind of goes back to what we were talking at the beginning:
Mm,
honesty, openness, willingness to learn. If
yes.
you're not embodying those traits, then
Hmm.
everything that we're saying is
Yeah,
like it
that,
doesn't work that way.
that is so true. That is so true. It is. And you have to be able to embody truth, honesty, and integrity and truth is the same thing. But when a person uses the word integrity, they tend to put it on a higher level than anything else. But it's the same thing. Just be honest. Just be loyal. Just be faithful. If you intend not to be faithful, then say that in the beginning. Because you never know what a person is willing to put up with. You never know what a female is willing to deal with or what a male is willing to deal with. You got to put these cards on the table in the beginning. You have to.
Well, yeah. Ask Hillary Clinton; she knows all about that. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry who said that. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I applaud that. Not sorry. Oh my goodness. But I love it. I love this real and raw conversation and not allowing ourselves to sugarcoat anything because that's what the world needs. The world needs the truth, plain and simple. They don't need the truth with all of the preservatives and the additives and all the other stuff that's not good for you. They need the truth, raw, nothing else.
I agree 100%. And I'm hoping that as people are understanding that we talked about, oh gosh, we talked about so much. We talked about, the daddy bill. We talked about expectations. We talked about not receiving. We talked about failed expectations. I
Hmm.
mean, there's so many stuff, and it's hard if you are at a space and place where you're consuming all this information that's telling you to dig in deeper and misogyny or
Yeah,
misandry, when I like all that stuff. And
mm,
so it's really a choice to you: is where do you want to go from there? And it's really your choice.
it is. It is. Yes. Yes. Where do you want to go? And that part right there alone goes back to the beginning of what I said when I said after you consume some of the time that you spend with this person, understanding, getting to know them, and you come to that consensus together, whether we want to be together or not, you made a decision. And it's up to you to make that decision. You have a right to make that decision, and you shouldn't feel bad about your decision. Take it as a learning experience and keep it moving.
Yeah. I mean, for some people who are listening, they need to take a year off.
Yeah, Yeah.
Off. And I'm not talking about booty calls, and I'm not talking about check-ins. Let me just check in and see
Nope.
how he like. I mean, you need a time to sober up.
Mhm.
Like literally, like you know how like somebody needs to sober up from alcohol and drugs. Like you need to sober off from all the chemicals that your body's generated from all that drama and cray cray.
Yes, yes, I totally agree with you. Yes. I took 2 times in my life before I met my wife. 2 times in my life, I took 2 years complete celibacy, no dating, no nothing, just spending time with me, getting to know more about me. And actually, I was also getting rid of past memories. I was
Mm,
pushing all of that stuff up out of me
mm,
because I did not want to take that into my future, not just my new relationship, but I didn't want to take that into my future and
mm,
let it go. I had to let all of that stuff go. And when I
mm,
do the transformation, the feelings that I had afterwards, oh my goodness, it is one of the best feelings you will ever experience in your entire life. Now, I know
mm.
one of, not the best, one of.
I love to hear that. I love to hear the testimonies because I think people like, no, 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 I can't do that. I mean, the fact that you feel like you can't do that tells me how hooked you are.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
definitely. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Man, Denise, you have been one of the realest. You have definitely been one of the realest ones I've had on here, and I would never, never forget you, no doubt. Never forget you. This has been, when you said let's create a memorable experience, I had no idea it would be this memorable, and I'm loving it. Every bit of it. I'm loving it. I truly thank you for doing this. No doubt, you are one of the few sisters that I've actually had a conversation with that was so real and raw that you can't help but to get something from it. I
appreciate
get this
that.
from my wife, and me and my wife, we talk all the time. Literally, all the time we talk. And you would think that after 30 years, we would run out of stuff to talk about, but we don't. We don't. We constantly building and growing all the time. And it's like once you reach one growth spurt, there's a new one ready for you. Take on this new challenge. Here you go, right here. Take on this new challenge.
Oh,
Let's see what you do with
it's beautiful.
that.
It's beautiful. It's
It is.
beautiful.
It's amazing, and we love it. We definitely love it. I'm not trying to change her. She's not trying to change me. There's no reason for distrust because everything was laid out in the beginning. And that's the beauty of laying your cards out in the beginning. You receive so much better responses from your companion. You have a far, far better relationship than you can ever imagine. You do.
Yeah, yeah. And you could, I mean, it's clear. I mean, we could take that energy, not just with our partner, right? We could take it with our work associates. We could take it with our
Mm.
friends. Like your life will be better
Yes.
if you take that energy everywhere.
Yes, it
And I
is.
kind of have the same kind of relationship with my husband. I can't sit here and say, I won't put this fake ass smile for one place, right? And
Yeah.
then be nasty somewhere else,
Yeah,
be deceitful. Like it doesn't work that way.
exactly. That is true. That is so true. Well, I know we're getting close to our time, so
Yes.
please let the people know something motivational.
The key to better you, right? The key to the better you is you getting out of your own damn way.
I saw that on your website. Go to show you I've been paying attention, right? And that's the truth. It is. Take those words because those are truly words to live by. And it was also one of the things that I learned from one of the celebrities I talked to, Brandy, and I talked to Jim Jones. I talked to Ludacris, and different ones would give you different insights. I talked to Benzino. I talked to Darren DeWitt Henson, and they give you different insights on pretty much how to make sure that you get out of your own way. Don't be your own judge because you're way too critical of your own self.
Mm,
Allow
mm,
the people to be critical of your works, whatever works that you're doing. If you're being good to people in the society as a service person, then let the people talk about how good you're being. You don't need to to say that. You don't need to do anything except for continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's real.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that.
Thank you. And where can our people reach you?
Yeah. So making life easy for everybody. DeniseGlee.com. You're like, I don't want to write all that. Go on Google, go on Bing, whatever. Just write Denise G. Lee or Denise Lee Coach. Trust me, you won't see a woman with a fro and you'll know you're heading the right direction. Follow the
Yeah.
fro.
I saw the long hair now. I saw that. I saw that. That was
But
nice.
when you straighten it out, it's straight out, but it's a fro. It's a
Yeah.
fro. It's a fro. All the fro.
I'm loving this, Denise. You've definitely been an amazing guest. I definitely thank you so much. Because the time that we spent was definitely well spent. And I can definitely say that from the heart. No doubt. No doubt. Thank you so much. Many, many blessings to you. And I'm looking forward to the success. And I have already followed you on each one of your social media links.
No love.
Yes, I have.
No love.
I have LinkedIn, Pinterest, and X. I followed you on all of
Oh, love. Thank you.
them.
Thank you.
Indeed, indeed. So people go ahead, check out Denise G. Lee .com. Check out the website. The website is really nice, by the way. It is, and I think you all would love it, especially in the nice little suit. Pretty nice, pretty cool. I saw you. I saw everything.
Thank you.
And I read your page. So
Thank you.
very valuable information there. And thank you so much, Miss Denise. Peace and
Yes.
blessings to you. Peace and blessings to your marriage. And peace and
Thank you.
blessings to your entire endeavors. Much
Thank
love,
you.
my sister.
Thank you.